Hi, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the second week. I apologize for the strange background. As I mentioned, today is probably my last day for a week and a half that I'll be able to do a video recording. In fact, tonight I might make my introductions online. We'll wait and see what the house looks like by the end of the day. Um, I am heading from Wisconsin to Arizona to start working face to face as well at Arizona Christian in the fall. So, anyway, as promised, this is a week a little bit more of legal, a little bit more global, and I wanted to give everyone some feedback. This will be a brief video. What I noticed was some of you with your cases, it looked like you focused more on Thompson and others focused more on the legalities. So my coaching would be when you're looking at the assignments, make sure that you're balanced and that you cover the whole assignment. My other tip is it's almost Sunday night, and I'll be sending another video out later, but don't forget to finish your peer responses, and because those are points. Everything is points, even if it's not perfect. Same thing I tell my daughter, who's a sophomore now at San Diego State, is don't throw away easy points. So get your discussions in and your peer responses. All grades should have been in as of yesterday morning, I believe. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to think of some other tips. Okay, as promised, I have another human resources sexual harassment case that I thought I'd share with the group that probably happened 10 years ago. Had an employee that she was a female non-exempt employee, non-exempt meaning non-exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act, but she was also a move-up supervisor in another department when the department head was out. Also had a unionized employee who was kind of a handful in general. So I'll give you the background on him. He had an attendance problem. He was also out on FMLA often for migraines, and the migraines always seemed to happen when there was snowmobiling happening up north. And he called in quite a bit between FMLA intermittent and also just attendance problems in general. When he was there, he was talented. He was one of those people that was very, very intelligent. He also, sadly, he did have a valid work-related injury. So he also was out on workers' comp for a while, and this was valid. I mean, it was not a good situation. He was a younger man, so he recovered fairly well. He also was rumored to have called OSHA to inspect the situation, and OSHA came in and found nothing. Let's see what else. So we have FMLA, workers' comp, OSHA. Okay, so I'm at a conference, and we're at the point where we had already done the second and third opinion for FMLA, and we were at the point where we were hearing so many rumors that we were actually considering surveilling him. And I'm at a conference, and I get a call from the female non-exempt move up supervisor saying, I'm hearing rumors that this particular employee is going to say that she was sexually harassing him. Okay, so to make a long story short, we canceled the surveillance because that could be seen as retaliation. And as you know, what are the basic things you need to do for a sexual harassment case? You need to take timely, objective investigation. And in this particular case, because it was a unionized employee, we involved the union and the shop steward, obviously, throughout the whole process. We spoke to him, and he was saying that basically what happened was that he received, I think it was an email. It was before text messaging, if you can believe that. He received an email from one of the process engineers saying, look out, Carrie just reported you, oops, I said the name, just reported you for not doing your quality reports. Well, this process engineer didn't know that they had been having a relationship. So he considered it as he was thinking it was retaliation for ending their relationship. So he was hourly a union, she was a non-exempt salaried employee. Investigated the process, and back then we got all of her emails. You know, we talked to her, obviously, objectively talked to her, talked to witnesses, and did that. And here's a tip for everyone, even now, is we found her email And it took probably a week and a half, though, to get all of the emails that had been deleted. Now, what I told the other supervisors is that I found things in those emails that had nothing to do with the case. So therefore, I wasn't going to share them. But there were things I just didn't want to know, in all honesty. Okay, so basically what had happened is they had hooked up, and he kind of ended it. The emails that we found and the information we found, it was more like, oh, I just want to be your friend. I want to be there for you, blah, blah, blah. And so we ended up giving her kind of a salaried last chance. You need to be careful with your behaviors, and no means no, that kind of thing. And that was documented in a separate file. Unfortunately, what happened a year later, okay, so some of the things that are around this case. So in his case, um, I would say that if I was not objective, I didn't trust his credibility. He was a little bit inappropriate with me early on as well. So, to make a long story short, one of the things to watch out for in this particular case was that he could have said, if we didn't handle it correctly, that we were retaliating against him based on filing a workers' comp claim, calling OSHA, having an FMLA case, and for filing a sexual harassment case. So he was a smart guy. Anyway, she received some coaching. A year later, this has a little bit to do with the case. Guess what? He says that they're having problems again. We investigate again, and he says that they hooked up again. And I still can't hear the word "my bad." Still makes me cringe. So he's like, well, my bad. So we had to have a conversation with her. Anyway, 10 years later, 5 years later, she ended up resigning, and is very happy now. 10 years later, he was finally terminated. Guess what he was terminated for? Sexual harassment. That was not on my watch, but it was somebody else who, the HR manager that was there. So I guess the key learnings of this case, I know it's more just sharing kind of a story, is you need to watch out for the retaliation piece. And no matter what you think of the employee, you need to, objectively investigate and take reasonable action and document. Okay, so those are some of the things, and you never ever, like I mentioned in my earlier video, you never can always expect the unexpected. They never turn out the way you think they will. And also, all emails can be found. So, when you're doing the investigation, make sure you're objective and thorough. All right, I will give you the update for next week later, but again, make sure you're balanced in your responses. Make sure if you have any questions that you text or call me, and realize the legalities are always, complicated. And when in doubt, consult somebody up the chain or consult your legal counsel. And I'm not saying that I handled every case correctly or we handled every case correctly, but I did want to share some of these so you could understand the issues that surrounded them. Have a great early Sunday, and you should hear from me again late tonight. Thank you.